John Force is not just a drag racer, he's a living legend. With 16 NHRA Funny Car championships, more than 150 career victories, and a racing dynasty that includes his daughters, Force has built a legacy few in motorsports can match. But his story isn't only told on the drag strip. It also lives inside his garages, workshops, and museum-like showrooms that house some of the most iconic machines in drag racing history. For fans, stepping into John Force's garage is like stepping into a time capsule of speed, glory, and personal triumphs. 2 facilities, 1 legacy. John Force's racing operations are spread across 2 main locations. Brownsburg, Indiana. This is the heart of the John Force racing team today. Here, engineers, mechanics, and fabricators build, tune, and prepare the race cars that still compete in NHRA. Yorba, California. This was the original headquarters. Now, it functions more like a museum and showroom, filled with historic race cars, trophies, and personal memorabilia. Together, these locations showcase Force's history while keeping his team at the cutting edge of drag racing. The cars inside. The biggest attraction in John Force's garage is, of course, the cars. Over the decades, he has collected and preserved many of the funny cars that brought him championships. Visitors can see early funny cars, machines from the late 1970s and 1980s, when Force was still struggling financially but building his reputation. These cars are reminders of the days when he traveled across the country in borrowed trucks, often broke but never giving up. Championship cars. Several of the Mustangs and Camaros that carried him to his 16 NHRA championships are preserved here. Each car tells a story of a title run, often with its original paint and sponsor logos still intact. Family cars, funny cars and dragsters driven by his daughters Ashley Force Hood, Courtney Force, and Brittany Force also have their place in the museum. Brittany's Top Fuel dragster, which helped her win the 2017 and 2022 championships, is a highlight. Tribute cars. Some cars honor late team members, most notably Eric Medlin. These vehicles are displayed with special care, serving as emotional reminders of the human side of racing. How many cars? While the exact number changes over time, reports and fan visits suggest dozens of cars are stored between the museum and the team's shops. At least 15 to 20 complete funny cars and dragsters from various eras are on display, while many others are stored in private sections. The value of the collection. Putting a dollar amount on John Force's garage is nearly impossible, but experts estimate that historic funny cars can be worth anywhere from $100,000 to $500,000 each, depending on their condition, originality, and history. Championship-winning cars often push toward the higher end of that scale. Top Fuel dragsters driven by Brittany Force or other team members could be valued at $250,000 to $600,000 each, especially if they are associated with major NHRA victories. Memorabilia, including trophies, helmets, fire suits, and autographed items, could collectively add millions in historic and sentimental value. Some of Force's championship trophies and personal racing gear are simply priceless. Conservatively, the cars and artifacts together could easily represent a collection worth $10 to $15 million or more. But to Force and his fans, the real value lies in the history they represent, not the money. Beyond the cars, the garage and museum are not just about vehicles. Visitors can also see trophies and awards. Hundreds of NHRA trophies line the walls, each marking a hard-fought victory. Helmets and suits. Force's iconic fire suits and helmets, along with those worn by his daughters, are displayed like artifacts from battle. Photos and timelines. Walls filled with images and stories track Force's rise from an unknown California kid to the most successful funny car driver in history. The Eric Medlin Memorial, a deeply personal space dedicated to the late driver, who was like family to Force. This part of the museum reminds visitors that behind the speed and glamour, racing is also about people. The workshop side. While the Yorba site is more of a museum, the Brownsburg facility in Indiana is an active race shop. It includes chassis and fabrication shops, where the car's skeletons are welded and repaired, engine building rooms, where 11,000 horsepower engines are assembled piece by piece. CNC machine shops, making custom parts from raw metal. Paint and graphics shops, giving the cars their striking looks before hitting the track. Dyno rooms, for testing engines before they are fitted into cars. This side of John Force Racing ensures the team stays competitive, while the museum side preserves its history. More than a garage. Calling John Force's facility just a garage doesn't do it justice. It's part racing shop, part museum, part memorial, and part event center. Fans see it as a sacred ground for drag racing history, while the Force family sees it as the home of their legacy. From the priceless funny cars of the past to the cutting-edge machines still rolling out today, the garage tells the full story of a man who gave everything to racing and got everything back in return. Sparkles in the end, John Force's garage isn't about how many cars or how much they're worth. It's about preserving a lifetime of speed, sacrifice, and victory, so future fans can feel the same thrill he felt every time he strapped into a funny car.